So day 3 of my video diary with this COVID-19 outbreak. So far, I've listened to the news this morning when I got up. I was a bit apprehensive when I left the house. I've seen my dog walker, Shan, who said she's got a few cancellations and things. And she's never seen so many people walking in the forestries. So I just had an apple. Sorry, I got a bit of skin, apple skin in my mouth. So let's have a look at what they said on the news this morning. And I'll tell you what the response has been out here so far today.
This is BBC News, the headlines. The US government is to fund thousands of hospital beds for coronavirus patients in the hotspot states of New York, California and Washington. Meanwhile, partisan disputes in the Senate have been holding up the approval of a huge stimulus bill to help an economy hit hard by the pandemic. Britons have been warned to take advice on social distancing seriously, or stricter measures could be imposed. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said a lockdown like those seen in other European countries was being considered, and said people ignoring advice were putting lives at risk. For the first time, there's been an acknowledgement from the Japanese Prime Minister that the Tokyo Olympic Games may have to be postponed because of the coronavirus. Shinzo Abe told Parliament that a delay might have to be considered if safety could not be guaranteed. Canada and Australia have said that the Games should not go ahead in July as scheduled.
So I started the round. A lot of my customers are really anxious, as is to be expected. A lot of them are isolating. Still, they are very concerned about me, which is a bit of a shock, because nearly every person I've said to, how are you managing, Clive? Are you okay? Are you surviving all right? Just continue doing our windows, please. You know, and I said, well, I don't particularly want to take any money if I can help it, but I am sanitizing the money with that. I don't know if you watched the video out, I'm making my own hand sanitizer. So I've got this stuff which I'm spraying all the coins and the notes with to prevent passing on the infection. I thought the news was just started. From customer to customer. I've also got a little mask, a scarf which I pull up over my face like that, just in case I encroach on that 2 meter curfew that they got with us. I'm double gloved. I'm not gloved at the moment because I'm sitting in the van just having lunch. I'm double gloved as well. So I got a surgical gloves, and then I got an outer glove which I use for window cleaning. So and there's not much more I can do really, but everybody seems to be very happy. They're happy to see me, which is nice. So far so good. I'm going to be going online
in this epidemic.
Italy has entered an even tougher phase of lockdown to try to control the infection. People are forbidden from travelling outside the municipality they're currently in, even to return home, except for urgent work or health reasons. For the safety of both staff and customers. McDonald's, Nando's, Costa Coffee and Primark are all temporarily closing. The O2 entertainment venue in London is stopping performances. Lord Rose, who used to run Marks & Spencer, Argos and Burton's, thinks it won't be long before all non-essential stores close down.
These are big businesses with a lot at stake, but I think inevitability is that they will have to close down. The government's come to our help with the support that it's put in place in terms of salaries. We've got support on rates now for a year. I think there will be other things coming through which will be supportive, and I think it's inevitable that, we will see many more retail businesses close down.
The Schools Minister Nick Gibb has insisted that people should send their children to school only if absolutely necessary. All schools in the UK are officially closed, but under new guidance, the children of key workers are still able to attend. Mark Dixon, who's head teacher at the Royal Alexandra and Albert School in Surrey, says it's a challenging time.
It's going to be very difficult for families. I mean, I'm a father. I've got 3 children who attend this school, and they'll all be fighting over the same computer at different times. So, I mean, thankfully, parents are really working with us, and we're having lots of compliments on the work we're sending home.
Time that the Tokyo Olympics, due to take place this summer, may have to be postponed because of the coronavirus.
Yes.
Shinzo Abe told Parliament that the safety of athletes must be the highest priority. BBC News, it's 12:03.
Thank you very much indeed, and good afternoon.
There we have it. So, looks like all the big superstores are going to be shutting down shortly. So it's only a matter of time before I stop working as well then. That's what it looks like. And Boris Johnson is taking steps now to minimise movement, by the sounds of it. It looks as if there's a bill being passed in Parliament. So there we go. But there's nothing more to say at the moment. Right, let's get... I'm going to get back to work, I think. So I finished my day. I'm going to go home now to watch the Prime Minister do his 5 o'clock bulletin to see exactly what's going on with the new update. I've had a reasonable day today. Customers have been absolutely fantastic, supporting me. I put some procedures in place like gloves, mask, disinfecting money, spraying their door handles with a cleaning solution, like an alcohol solution for them. But the majority of them, if not 99.9% of them, have been absolutely fantastic. So that said, it's a nice afternoon. I'm just walking Molly down the park again. It's very quiet and eerie. And I'm just going to go home now, watch Boris on the telly, and hopefully I'll be doing a video, not a video, but I'll be doing a live tonight for about an hour, just to discuss things really, just to say that we're all together in this, and if we work together, wash our hands, be mindful of others, don't be too greedy with the old shops, then we can all get through this hopefully together, and that's it. So after a nice long walk down the park with Molly, I come home. It's currently 20 to 8 now, so I had a bit of tea in that, and Boris Johnson cancelled his daily a press meeting at 5 p.m. Because he was in a COBRA meeting discussing different issues, I would imagine, with this lockdown procedure. He's going to be making a nationwide announcement at 8:30 this evening, which is a little bit disconcerting because a press conference and a nationwide announcement are 2 different kettles of fish. So I am expecting him to strictly come down on all the movement that was done over the weekend. People going to the parks, going to the Brecon Beacons, going down to the seaside, and just mass mingling, just stupidity by these people. And I don't care if I am pulled over the coals, you're putting your own lives at risk as the risks lives of others. Just because you're 20, 30 or 40 or even my age 50, 60, it doesn't, we're all at risk, and I think that if we try and stay apart, we are looking after our families. So, you know, mingling like that is just not right. Anyway, let's see what Boris has to say. I'll film some of that. This is just for prosperity. This is just my experience, my video diary of what's going on with this COVID-19 issue. This is the 4th diary today. And we'll see what he has to say tonight, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Broadcast from the Prime Minister.
Good evening. The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. And so tonight, I want to update you on the latest steps we're taking to fight the disease and what you can do to help. And I want to begin by reminding you why the UK has been taking the approach that we have. Without a huge national effort to halt the growth of this virus, there will come a moment when no health service in the world could possibly cope, because there won't be enough ventilators, enough intensive care beds, enough doctors and nurses. And as we've seen elsewhere in other countries that also have fantastic healthcare systems, that is the moment of real danger. To put it simply, if too many people become seriously unwell at one time, the NHS will be unable to handle it, meaning more people are likely to die, not just from coronavirus, but from other illnesses as well. So it's vital to slow the spread of the disease, because that is the way we reduce the number of people needing hospital treatment at any one time, so we can protect the NHS's ability to cope and save more lives. And that's why we've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic. And though huge numbers are complying, and I thank you all, the time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. Because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, alone or with members of your household. Any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave your home. You should not be meeting friends. If your friends ask you to meet, you should say no. You should not be meeting family members who do not live in your home. You should not be going shopping except for essentials like food and medicine. And you should do this as little as you can. And use food delivery services where you can. If you don't follow the rules, the police will have the powers to enforce them, including through fines and dispersing gatherings. To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to stay at home, we will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores and other premises, including libraries, playgrounds and outdoor gyms and places of worship. We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public, excluding people you live with. And we'll stop all social events, including weddings, baptisms and other ceremonies, but excluding funerals. Parks will remain open for exercise, but gatherings will be dispersed. No Prime Minister wants to enact measures like this. I know the damage that this disruption is doing and will do to people's lives, to their businesses and to their jobs. And that's why we produced a huge and unprecedented programme of support both for workers and for business. And I can assure you that we will keep these restrictions under constant review. We will look again in 3 weeks and relax them if the evidence shows we are able to. But at present, there are just no easy options. The way ahead is hard, and it is still true that many lives will sadly be lost. And yet it is also true that there is a clear way through. Day by day, we are strengthening our amazing NHS with 7,500 former clinicians now coming back to the service. With the time you buy by simply staying at home, we are increasing our stocks of equipment. We are accelerating our search for treatments. We're pioneering work on a vaccine. And we're buying millions of testing kits that will enable us to turn the tide on this invisible killer. I want to thank everyone who is working flat out to beat the virus. Everyone from the supermarket staff to the transport workers to the carers to the nurses and doctors on the front line. But in this fight, we can be in no doubt that each and every one of us is directly enlisted. Each and every one of us is now obliged to join together to halt the spread of this disease, to protect our NHS and to save many, many thousands of lives. And I know that as they have in the past, so many times, the people of this country will rise to that challenge and we will come through it stronger than ever. We will beat the coronavirus and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you at this moment of national emergency to stay at home, protect our NHS and save lives. Thank you.